the US is concerned, China no longer needs these 12 things. First, abandoning American chip technology. China's chip R&D is overcoming US blockades. Second, abandoning GPS and switching to China's self-developed Beidou satellite system, breaking the American monopoly. This spirit of self-reliance is truly admirable. Third, giving up Boeing aircraft and instead supporting the development of the domestically produced C919 large aircraft. The rise of China's aviation industry has put unprecedented pressure on America's aviation giants. Fourth, abandoning American agricultural GMO technology and insisting on developing green, eco-friendly agriculture to ensure the food safety of the nation. Fifth, giving up American industrial design software and promoting the development of domestic industrial software to enhance the innovation capabilities of Chinese manufacturing. Sixth, abandoning American social media platforms and strengthening domestic social networks to spread China's voice and showcase China's style. Seventh, giving up American operating systems and promoting domestic operating systems. This move has improved information security. This has reduced dependence on American technology. Eighth, abandoning the American financial settlement system and actively building a cross-border payment system for the renminbi, which has strengthened China's voice in the international financial arena. Ninth, giving up American automotive engine technology. Independently developing EV power systems, bringing Chinese innovation to green transport. 10th, abandoning American database software development and developing databases with independent intellectual property rights to ensure data security and master core technologies. 11th, giving up American high-end medical equipment and increasing investment in the research and development of domestic medical devices. China's medical technology is reaching new heights. 12th, abandoning reliance on American military equipment and strengthening independent national defense development. The modernization of China's military has challenged American hegemony. Do you still remember last year's incident with the American fifth-generation fighter jet shooting down a balloon? China's weather balloon drifted across the ocean, traveled all over the skies of the United States, and was finally shot down by an F-22 fighter jet. This happened just last year. China's new fighter jets have made a stunning debut, and it was only at that moment that everyone realized it wasn't just a simple balloon. In March last year, a weather balloon took off from Xinjiang, China, drifted across the North Pacific, flew over Alaska, and then entered Canada. At first, no one paid much attention, until the balloon suddenly turned south and entered U.S. airspace, passing over everything from Air Force bases to intercontinental missile silos, taking in everything at a glance. At this point, the Pentagon in the United States was thrown into chaos, not because of anything else, but because they were debating what could be used to shoot it down. After all, the balloon was at an altitude of 30,000 meters. Patriot missiles couldn't reach it, and while THAAD could, it seemed like overkill. Then there was the idea of using an F-22 fighter jet to shoot it down. But why didn't they? It turned out the jet couldn't reach it. At first, we didn't understand. Doesn't the F-22 have a service ceiling of Mach 2.0? But in reality, it was limited to 20,000 meters, so if you can't reach it, you can't shoot it down. So we kept lowering it to see what your fifth-generation fighter is really capable of. After lowering it to an altitude of around 17,000 or 18,000 meters, the American fighter jet circled to find the right angle, then fired a missile with its nose pointed upward, and finally succeeded in shooting down the balloon. At this point, we had figured out the true capabilities of America's fifth-generation fighter jets. Even though they boasted about them, we took it seriously. That's why our sixth-generation fighter jets are now truly terrifyingly powerful. They're an exact one-to-one replica of the grand vision the Americans painted. Absolutely authentic. On the day of the maiden flights by Chengfei and Shenyang, the lights in the Pentagon were blazing all night long. And this isn't the first time we've played an open strategy game with the Americans. At the United Nations General Assembly that year, we proposed that, to prevent a future where robots dominate the battlefield, all countries should limit the development of killer robots. As expected, this proposal was opposed by other countries, led by the United States. At the time, countries like the United States, Russia, and India were all developing such weapons. So what now? You were the ones who said it was allowed, so now I'm going to start producing them. So during the joint China-Cambodia military exercise this May, a group of impressive robot dogs made a dazzling debut on the battlefield. Other countries were stunned. They can withstand rifle fire, be equipped with rocket launchers, and adapt to all kinds of complex battlefield environments. Let's imagine a scene like this. The foreigners step onto the battlefield and look. there's no one on the other side. All crouching there are robot dogs, robot wolves, robot tigers, and robot leopards, all carrying Gatling guns and rocket launchers. Enemy soldiers fight with flesh and blood against our mechanized units, while our soldiers remotely operate screens like a video game. Americans imagine while we implement. And it's this last thing that's giving the Americans the biggest headache, making Trump furious, driving the world's richest man to hysteria, sending global chip giants into a panic, and stirring up a storm of chaos in the tech sectors of Europe and America. All of this started with the sudden emergence of China's AI large model, DeepSeek, which landed like a bombshell and put unprecedented pressure on the Americans. The sudden debut of DeepSeek has made Americans even more fearful than the arrival of sixth-generation fighter jets. Just how much influence does DeepSeek have on the United States? The answer is, its impact is at least as great as that of the sixth-generation fighter jets, if not greater. While sixth-generation fighter jets only enhance China's air superiority in terms of weaponry, DeepSeek fundamentally challenges and even undermines America's technology leadership in its future strategies, and could potentially reshape the global industrial landscape. The Americans have tried every possible means to dig into every detail of DeepSeek founder Liang Wenfeng's background and statements, and have even launched large-scale malicious attacks on DeepSeek's official website. Clearly, DeepSeek has put enormous pressure on the United States. But DeepSeek's founder, Liang Wenfeng, deeply resonated with millions of Chinese people with his statement, "My algorithms only serve the 5-star red flag," moving the entire nation. Liang Wenfeng can now be considered a national treasure-level figure in our country. He enjoys special state-level security protection, and he is... Following Ren Zhengfei, another talent has emerged who has created cutting-edge technology for our country. On the very day DeepSeek was launched, NVIDIA alone saw its market value evaporate by $589 billion in a single day. That's approximately 4.27 trillion RMB, setting the record for the largest single-day market value loss since the establishment of stock markets in human history. At his peak, Evergrande's Xu Jiayin's personal wealth once reached 320 billion RMB, which is about 45 billion US dollars. In other words, NVIDIA lost the equivalent of 13 peak period Xu Jiayin's fortunes in an instant. How shocking is this? You probably have some idea now. The United States wants to use AI and chips to build a new technological hegemony. But the emergence of DeepSeek has directly disrupted this plan. Why? Because Liang Wenfeng has proven one thing. Creating top-level AI does not actually require burning that much money. With a small team of 139 people and just $5,570,000, he achieved results that took OpenAI $1 billion to reach, and half of his team are fresh graduates. This result has directly shaken the very foundation of the American AI industry. On the surface, Liang Wenfeng seems like a dark horse who appeared out of nowhere, but in reality, he has been preparing for this day for over a decade. Back in 2008, when Wall Street was still reeling from the financial crisis, Liang Wenfeng and his classmates from Zhejiang University had already started researching how to use AI to predict the stock market. In 2015, he founded Highflyer Quant. While traditional private equity firms were still studying candlestick charts, he was already using AI for high-frequency trading. And in 2021, that year was even more of a milestone for Liang Wenfeng. His assets under management soared past 100 billion yuan, making him one of the 4 leading figures in China's quantitative private equity sector, even surpassing Buffett and Bill Gates. In 2023, Liang Wenfeng quietly announced the founding of DeepSeek, and just over a year later, DeepSeek launched the Mala architecture AI large model. The training costs were reduced to just 5% of traditional solutions. Simply put, while others needed 100 supercomputers to train their AI large models, he could do it with just 5. The engineers at OpenAI were stunned. At OpenAI, the annual salary of a department executive is higher than DeepSeek's entire model training cost, and this was achieved in less than 2 years. DeepSeek's large model burst onto the scene. The so-called tech giants in Silicon Valley were left speechless because they never imagined that a homegrown Chinese entrepreneur who had never studied abroad, leading a small team, could create such a powerful AI large model. Do you know how impressive DeepSeek is? Simply put, it's like a human brain. When it answers your questions, it even takes your personal situation into account. For example, if you ask it for travel tips, it will even care about what time your flight is, whether you have enough energy, and thoughtfully schedule time for you to rest on the ride. There was even a parent who took their child to the hospital and used DeepSeek to check the diagnosis results against the doctors. It's almost exactly the same. What's even more surprising is that when some netizens jokingly asked it to write a program for an intercontinental missile, it actually did so without any hesitation, which scared a bunch of people. While other adults are still using it for fortune-telling or dating, 10-year-old kids can already use 2 AI programs to finish a PPT in 3 minutes. There are even Gen Z live streamers now. Using DeepSeek, a live streamer managed to sell a whopping 330 million yuan worth of goods in just one night. An even more impressive boss lady from Yiwu is using AI to run her international business. All she has to do is say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front of the camera, and instantly, videos in dozens of languages are generated, done in just 10 minutes without even needing to manually add subtitles. It's hard not to marvel at how fast AI and artificial intelligence are developing. Just as Jack Ma said, in the next 20 years, the tremendous changes brought about by AI will surpass everyone's imagination, because AI will usher in an even greater era. We are experiencing an unprecedented transformation, shifting from the industrial age to the digital age. In the future, more and more jobs will be replaced by artificial intelligence, and we will witness the greatest technological wave in human history. The field of AI will also become a new direction for development. AI won't take your job, but people who know how to use AI will. So starting from 2025, you really shouldn't be anxious anymore. Your child's grades won't matter. In the next 10 years, any work that top students can do, machines will be able to do as well. While you're still scrimping and saving to enroll your child in all kinds of classes, this year, AI combined with humanoid robots has already begun large-scale mass production. As a result, the first batch of AI civil servants in Shenzhen has officially started their posts. They don't receive a salary. They work year-round without breaks, and their efficiency is 10 times that of humans. In the future, all jobs unrelated to creativity, including doctors, lawyers, and teachers, will be completely wiped out. The era when education could change your fate can end just like that. In this era of rapid AI development, how should parents teach their children to use AI to avoid being left behind by the times? If your child is between the ages of 3 and 15, the critical period for developing technological thinking, and still doesn't know much about AI, I especially recommend letting them read this comic series, Youngsters Learn AI. As long as you leave this book on the table, your child will pick it up on their own. 20 years from now, after reading this series, they will definitely thank you. This set of books uses over 1,000 comic illustrations. Featuring 600 plus AI technologies, it sparks curiosity. The series combines AI with academics, integrating 300 plus middle school physics and chemistry concepts. From elementary school, it builds logical and innovative thinking, covering robotics, materials, and chips. In emerging industries such as autonomous driving, the metaverse, and biometric identification, children can get a head start and gain a competitive edge for the future, becoming reserve talents for new technologies. For example, while other children are asking adults why AI can chat with humans, how robots perform surgeries on patients, or whether cars can... How do technologies like autonomous driving and facial recognition actually work? Children who have read this set of books already know the answers. Only when children see real-life examples explained can they truly say they understand and have fully grasped this knowledge. A set of books isn't very expensive, but the impact it can have on a child lasts a lifetime. That's why I strongly recommend it. Take advantage of the low price and get a set for your child as soon as possible, so their way of thinking can keep up with the world's development. Your child's future will surely be bright.